guys, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, I have recreated my work look using some drugstore gems that are my absolute go-tos that are not going to let me down when I'm in a hurry and busy during the week. And some of these favorites rival my high-end ones as well. So if this sounds like something you're interested in, then please keep watching. What I've really been loving for work lately is the Rimmel Kind and Free Blur It Out. I tell you what, this skin tint is so flattering and very affordable too. This is here swatched and it's in the shade Golden Ivory. I find it's just the perfect color for my skin, and look how it goes on. It is incredibly blurring and it is so hydrating on the skin as well. And I don't want to wear anything too heavy on my face, particularly when I'm at work. I just want something that looks really natural. I think what's appealing about it also is the fact that it's not too matte. It just has a gorgeous skin-like quality to it. I have a pimple right here on my lip, so I'm doing my best to try and cover it up. Thankfully, I don't get too many breakouts at this age. I used to when I was a teenager, but not so much now. Just an occasional spot in weird places. For concealer, I have one of my favorite go-tos for work, which is the L'Oreal True Match Concealer. This one's in the shade Light Medium. It's got such an awesome doe foot to it. You can really get in there, really get into the corners there, and it's so brightening as well. Just going in with the warmth of my fingers. And I find it melts better into the skin when I use my fingers. Look how much it's brightened. It's made such a massive difference. I tell you what, I could not ever give up concealer. For contour, you cannot go past the Maybelline Lifter Sticks. This is one of my drugstore gems. This is one of my most affordable gems that I use not only for work, but all the time. This one's actually replaced my Rare Beauty contour stick. It's extremely buttery and easy to blend. It just blends in beautifully. If you haven't tried this, I highly recommend trying it. It is absolutely brilliant. I love to go with my Revlon bronzing drops if I have a little bit more time during the week. It just gives such a gorgeous glow. I only use a tiny drop. A little bit goes a long way. Just need a little bit. It just adds a little bit more glow to the skin. Pre-blending it on my hand and just popping it on the cheek. Just gives a subtle glow to the cheeks. And to set the bronzer, I'm going in with my Maybelline City Bronzer. This one's in the shade Medium Warm. I love this bronzer. This is my everyday bronzer. It's just so reliable to always make sure that I'm setting my cream products. I work at a school in education support, so I have no time to reapply any of my makeup. So what I have in the morning is what I have at the end of the day. So it just gives such a pretty glow. Okay, so now to set my makeup, I'm going in with my Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder. And this is in the shade Fair Light. This powder is up there with my high-end ones. It is incredibly blurring. This one never lets me down. I'm still trying to hide this pimple. This is another product I use if I have a little bit more time in the morning. This is the Milani Cheek Kiss, and it's in the shade Nude Kiss. This goes on absolutely gorgeous on the skin. It doesn't come out patchy. I normally like to pre-blend it on my hand to make sure that I'm not putting too much on. I feel like this one's not talked about much, but it is such a beautiful product. And it's incredibly long wearing on its own as well. But for work, I normally do set it. I always have a habit of going overboard with my blush. So during the week when I'm working, I always pre-blend it on my hand. I don't have time for makeup mistakes when I'm working. On top of this, I'm going in with my L'Oreal blush, and this is in the shade Candy Cane Pink. I just like to go over the Milani blush just to set it a little bit, just to make sure that it does stay on all day. Oh, you know it. I have to add a little bit more shimmer to my face. I go in with my L'Oreal Lumila Glass, and this is in the shade Glassy Pink Ballet. With this one, I just like to use my fingers to put it on. This is so much easier to use when you're in a rush. You don't have to use a powder one where you have to look for brushes. This one you can just use your fingers. A little bit on the nose. And for eyeshadow, I have NYX The Ultimate Warm Neutrals. This one here's just fallen out of the pan. That's not good. This is my second one. My first one I dropped all over the bathroom floor and it smashed everywhere. So I would have been upset if this one had fallen out and done the same. What I love about this palette is you've got a section that has all warm neutrals, and then you've also got your cool tone neutrals as well. So you can change your look up depending on what you're feeling. Today I feel as though I want to go for a little bit more of a warmer look. So I'm just going to go into this shade here. The shades are numbered on the back, so what I'll do is I'll put the corresponding number to what eyeshadow I'm actually using, if that makes sense. What I like about these ones is they are extremely pigmented. I'm just going in back with that shade on the other side. And then I'm just going to go in with this creamy matte shade, and I'm just going to clean up around the edges. I find if I get a little bit heavy-handed with it initially, it's just really easy to clean it up. Grabbing my Mecca Max fluffy brush, I'm just going into this satin shade here. I'm just wanting this one to look really natural for work. This colour's gorgeous. It really tones down the look. If it leans too warm, you can mix the cooler and warmer tones together. And what I like about it, it is just a subtle shimmer. And just going in with that same shade that we began with in the crease, I'm just going underneath. This is my Mecca Max Smudge Shadower brush, and this one's really excellent for getting in under the lashes. If I find I've gone a little bit too warm under the lash line, I normally add in this matte tone here. Because I find if I put warm toned colours under my eyes, I can look more tired. So I like to mix the cooler tones in with it as well. Okay, so it's still looking quite matte. I'm going to add a little bit more of a shimmer to the look. I'm just going to go in with this light shimmer colour for the middle of my eye. I think this will brighten up the look beautifully. This is always such a good trick to do when your eyeshadow is looking a little bit too heavy. I'm not someone that likes a heavy eyeshadow look, so I always like to add a little bit of shimmer in the middle of my eye, just to break the look up a little bit. I'm just going into this white matte shade for an inner corner highlight. Oh, that looks so much better. It's amazing how something so simple can make you look more wide awake. I just recently bought the L'Oreal Infallible Black Eye Pencil, and I bought it in the shade black. I normally have the brown shade. I'm pretty sure it's Bronzed Espresso, and I love the formula so much that I went and bought the black shade. It's extremely pigmented, but I find this one's a lot more easy to use than the Maybelline Tattoo eyeliner. It gives you a little bit more time to be able to blend it out. It doesn't dry down as quickly. This one's a good one because it has the smudger on the back, so you can blend out the line. So the line's not as harsh. I never like a harsh line along my eyes. Just softens it a lot more. I've just got my Nude by Nature angle brush, and I just like to drag out a slight wing. It just makes my eyes look a little bit more wider. Okay, so now for mascara. I have been loving the L'Oreal Paradise Big Deal Mascara. This has to be one of my new favorite go-tos. I find this one has such a perfect little tapered wand, and it's really easy to get into those really fine lashes. When you're in a hurry to go to work, you want mascaras that are going to be reliable, and this mascara is certainly reliable. I find it just lengthens and separates my lashes, and I get no clumping at all. And I can trust it on my bottom lashes because it doesn't transfer. This mascara is like a trusty best friend. Of course, I'm going to go in with my Maybelline Builder Brow. This one's in the shade Ash Brown. And for lip liner, I'm going in for my Maybelline Lifter Liner in shade Line Leader. This is one of my favorite lip liners. I use it every day. I've got a lot of lip liners, but this one seems to be the one I'm always reaching for. I feel like the pimple's getting worse. And to draw more attention to my pimple, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Liquid Lip, and this one's in the shade Worth It Medium. Normally when you have a pimple, you'd want to go for a lighter shade to detract from it, but I've chosen a deeper shade. I do love this colour. And I guarantee this stays on all day. I find the liquid lipsticks can be a little bit drying. In that case, I just carry around a gloss that's relatively clear to pop over the top if I do feel my lips are getting dry. And lately I've been using the Rimmel Thrill Seeker. This one's just an easy one to pop into your work bag. And it doesn't have too much colour, so it just adds a little bit more hydration and shine to the lips. It's just added a little bit more shine to the lip if you so wish. Otherwise, it looks pretty matte as well. The looks come out quite warm. I think it would be nice for autumn. And if I've got a long day ahead of me, I normally go in with my Milani Make It Last. Well, this is the final look. This is normally a look I'll do during the week for work. I do change it up a little bit. Sometimes I'll use that palette to do more of a cool tone look. And in the look I did today, I've mixed both cool and warm tones together. And all the products I use are completely affordable, and I find the NYX palette is absolutely brilliant. It's as pigmented and long wearing as high-end ones that I've tried. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you all have a wonderful week, And if you haven't already, please remember to like and subscribe as it helps me out a lot. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video.